Hi, my name is Corey Minter. I'm with Trinity Employment Specialists, and we are a staffing organization located here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're one of the top staffing agencies in this region. And just this last week, we found out that we won, the last couple of weeks, found out that we are in Inc. magazine again for 2019, not for 2020. 2020 has been a crap storm, but 2019, we crushed it. Finally, we're starting to see a bounce back. But I really love to talk to employees about success because, we staff so many different people, and a lot of, especially younger employees and some older, they just have this skewed version of what it's like to be successful and what it takes. Because, and I don't know if it was the video game industry, I don't know really what it was, but I know that even the generation just as far down from me as my brother, like there is just not this drive that people in my generation seem to have. And I'm not saying that we're better or worse. Listen, I'm sure we have our own issues, but success isn't overnight. And I want to talk to you about 10 things that successful people do that are actually happy. What is it they do different from everyone else around them? And so I first went through is that they go after things that brings them foundational for things, and then I'll go through the rest of the list. They pursue things that gives them happiness, meaning things that really they give them pleasure and significance. 2, achievement, things that they can actually go and produce tangible results. 3, significance, they produce activities that have a positive impact on people around them that they respect. And 4, legacy, they leave around a legacy of what it really means to them. I was reading a book, and I can't even remember the name of it, but it was about success, and it was one of the top books. I can't believe I can't remember it, but I want to tell you the story out of it about legacy. At the very beginning of this book, it said, I want you to do something that's actually very morbid, but it's very important that we all do this. This was a big time impact on me. He said, I want you to imagine your funeral, and you just have this weird ability to look over your funeral, and you've died. Okay, what are they saying about you? And then in the back room, I've preached funerals before. In the back room, what are the people thinking about in their mind and discussing when they talk about, all right, what should we talk about this person? Is it real easy for them to come up with things? Or is it kind of difficult? Are they really having to pull? Are they having to ask people for good legacy type things to talk about you about? Or is it just so easy that they've got to pick some because there's no way that they could go over it all? Okay, listen, man. This is very important, especially for a younger person in their career to think about. What is it I want to be known for? So that's legacy. I brought that up. I spent too much time on that 4th one because it's really important. So we're doing part 2 of probably a 3-part series. First 3 things that I talked about. People that achieve success, that are actually happy, what things they do different. 1, they're passionate, and they make sure they're passionate before they go do it. 2, they swim against the current almost all the time. I feel like people think I'm crazy. Even on my staff, sometimes they do. But somehow, I'm always creating this thing that drives us to the next level. But I want you to know I fail way more than I succeed. Way more. But everything I do, they're like, what? Are you crazy? You're always swimming against the grain. Number 3, they finish what they start. This is a differentiator for most Americans. This next one, 4, they're resilient. It is difficult, especially if you're in business. It's just difficult. If you want to have a higher salary, can I just tell you something? Especially the younger people in their career. Like if you want a six-figure salary, all right, it is not easy. It is very, very hard. And you have to take on a level of responsibility that most people, they are just not willing to, they're not willing to accept in their life because it's hard. A lot of people think that they can go to a job and at 5 o'clock, they're out and they're upset that they're not in six figures. Okay, that six-figure job where you're checking out at 5 or whenever it is, like that really doesn't exist. People are resilient. They are willing to do what the rest of the country and world, they're not willing to do. And that's a part of it. I know it stinks, but it's a part of it. Unless you win the lottery, unless, there are probably 0.1% of things that, it's an easy gig. You've got an inheritance or something like that, but people are resilient. Number 5, they make their health a priority. Listen, I don't want to brag, but at 4:30 this morning, I was up and I was going to work out. I tore my shoulder this morning working out. Not bad, but I've got a small little muscle tear there, and it was because I was increasing weight. Successful people, almost all of them, make their health a priority because they know that it impacts your brain's ability to function at its best. It really does. I work out. It's nice that you've got physical things to it. I'm not in the perfect shape, but I work out at least 4 or 5 days a week for at least an hour and a half apiece. And that thing gives me a little bit of a drive, and it keeps me from having a depressive type of a mentality. That I don't know what the chemicals are, but it gets released in your brain. And if your brain were to go negative and get depressive, this really just helps lift it out. And it's a great, great tool. So people make their health a priority. Number 6, they don't dwell on problems. Listen, problems are never going to stop. In fact, if you're going to be a high-end producer, the number one reason that an employer is going to hire you, or whether you're going to be successful on your own, is because you have an extreme high-level ability to solve problems. That's what it is. If you want to climb a ladder, okay, go to your owner when you see that they are experiencing problems, and go do what you can to solve that problem for them. You will become so valuable, and they'll notice it. You do that over time, and you're going to be a trusted resource. And then you do it over 4 or 5 years. Listen, you're going to be like family to them by just helping them solve problems. If you want to be a high-level owner of a company, you've got to have an ability to solve problems better than almost anyone else. This is a trait of the most successful. So that takes us up to 6. Number 7, and I'll do this in about a minute. They celebrate other people's successes. Listen, man, I remember doing this in my own career, where when people succeeded that I was trying to chase, I would be irritated at them. But I later found out in life that the most success, it's different from what everybody else thinks. Everybody else thinks that you go and get what you need and want first, and that's how success is driven. Listen, it's not that way at all. It's the exact opposite. You go help other people get what they want over and over and over again. And when you become valuable to other people, you'll never have to go and ask for it. Zig Ziglar said it. It's one of the most important quotes that I carry with me. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll never have a problem getting what you want. If you're chasing success and you're trying to put yourself first, I'm telling you, if you actually get there, you're going to be miserable at the top. But if you will help enough people get where you want, where you're pulling them up, not pushing them up, it's going to be a drastic difference. If Trinity can help you in your career, if you're an employee, come talk to us. We would love to be a resource for you. We help people get jobs and get elevated in different parts of their career every single day. Give us a call at 918-622-2588, or you can visit us online at trinityemployment.com.